All right, so I'm recording this so that I can put it up later. I wanted to show you, this is the DuraWhelp box, and what we do with these boxes now that we've had them for a few years, we've been able to use them, kind of have a love-hate relationship with them. I think they could have done a lot better job in the engineering phase of this. So that I'm going to start with the things I don't like about it, because then I can get all this covered up and I can talk to you while I do. I don't like these rugs. Let me see that, Aiden. Aiden's going to hold this up for us. These rugs that you buy with the DuraWhelp boxes there's only 4 pieces. I'm not sure what the dogs are barking at, but there's only 4 pieces. This is what they do in the wash, because I'm not sure who designed it, but they only put 1 stitch across here. Now, something real simple they could have done was just put an X, put a cross stitch, put a full X in there, and it would have held that down, because once you wash these a few times and they get rolled up a lot, they won't stick. So they won't Velcro and they won't stay down. So what I would have done, and we're going to review a couple different Whelping boxes. We've had these for a while, but it's really hard to see in here. I don't know where my flashlight is, but you can see these Velcros in here. And this is with me having picked all this stuff off. Like, you would think that would just pick off, and it won't. I've sat here with tweezers and tried to pick all this stuff off. I can't even tell you how many times. And the Velcros just don't come clean. It's just the nature of Velcro, right? So, but what I would have done, using Velcro, I would have had 1 there, 1 in the middle, 1, I would have had at least 6 of them. I would have cross-stitched these, which I suppose if you know how to sew, and you can put these in your sewing machine, that's great. But these mats are super expensive to buy from DuraWhelp. So this is what we have. Well, I'll go back to what we've decided to do with these. The other thing I don't like is these rails here. They're supposed to have double-sided Velcro so that it doesn't come apart like this. So you can see where there was another piece of Velcro there. And all of the ones, so there's supposed to be a piece in here that is behind here for the other side of the Velcro, and all of those are gone just from putting it together and taking it apart. None of them have that left on them anymore. So that's the first thing they need to figure out. They could leave a little extra overhang here where this goes through to give it a little more stability, so that when the box has some play in it, it doesn't fall apart. The door, you can see this door has been used, and this is a used box, and that is why we are reviewing this right now, because it is fully used. We had one who didn't want to come out of here, and that's that wanted out, and she chewed on this. It held up pretty decently for being chewed on, but what I don't like is, see, the first thing I don't like is this whole frame separates a lot of times when you go to pull the door out, and I can't even barely one-handed get it to come out of there. Aiden's going to come around and help me. Okay, I'll hold this down. You pull the door up, and then hold that door up so we can show them what happens to the door and why it does that. So you can see this crease here. Just hold it here, Aiden. Aiden. Yeah, Aiden, just hold it up for a second. So you can see this crease here is it's not supposed to crease there. And then what happens is this gets all frayed, and that's why it gets stuck in there, because it's just this corrugated plastic coated cardboard like thing, and it gets all frayed like that, and then it doesn't want to slide in and out. I don't like that a lot of the boxes have a half open option. So around 2 weeks, the puppies start climbing out of this, and that's no good. And you either have to lock mom in or out. So you don't have that half option to where maybe the door would come to here, where the puppies at a couple weeks old can't climb out, but mom can still climb out. So that's one of the other things I don't like about it. Where these seams are, I like to pressure wash things and really get them clean. And where these seams are, that it holds water terribly. Even if you just like take a sponge and wipe it, this gets it gets wet, and it requires a lot of dry time. So the corners, you'll see I have corners here and here, but this side doesn't have a corner because when the Velcro comes off of these corners, you will absolutely not get anything else to stick again. And that happened pretty quick, and they pop off pretty often. So if you're taking the box up and down, which is kind of the whole reason for a DuraWelt box, is that you're wanting that convenient storage. So anyways, I'm going to show you what we do. Our, kind of what we've decided works a little better for us as far as, hold on. I thought this was going to work, but it may not. There, you can still see down here, which is where you need to see. So what I've done, don't order these. You're paying for these rugs that are super expensive. It's great that they're machine washable, but you know what? Everything else is machine washable too. So don't pay a ton of money for those rugs. Go on Amazon, get some of these whelping pads, get the size that you need. This is a 4x4 box. I like the ones with the little rubber backing. It really does not stick like you would think it would, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So lay this in the bottom of your whelping box, and that's going to absorb anything that comes through your next layer. And then what we do is we bought these machine washable rugs. This is a 48 by 60, I believe. So it's a little longer than the box, and I'll show you why and what we do with it. It could be slightly shorter for this box. This fits the 4x6 box, or 4x5 box, sorry, perfectly, but it does work great in this one as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take, we have all this excess here, and what I do, because the moms with those stupid rugs with the little Velcros, mom goes like this and digs, and it pulls. Take that out of there. They can't see. So mom goes like this and digs. They all do it. I've not had one mother ever not dig. Typically we have heat underneath it here, but these puppies are old enough that they don't need the heat anymore, and I just was doing a quick change. We'll do another thorough cleaning tomorrow. So there's just always hair, obviously, with dogs. But the moms dig, and then the puppies get underneath of here, and especially when there's heat under here, that's a real problem. So what we've decided to do, we take this, lay it down, and I've been trying to mess with the camera, so things have kind of gotten a little messy in here. Instead of super straight, just make sure everything's nice and square. You want it on both edges. Don't mind the bird. And then I push this side out, at either side, and then pull the rug up through this side. It does take a little bit more work, but it's worth it because your puppies aren't getting buried, and that to me is just such a huge liability. And I can't believe for how long these boxes have been out that no one has engineered them better. So we're going to review a couple boxes, and if we don't find one we really love, we're just going to design one, because we've been doing this for so freaking long that there's so much. Here, I'll give you a good view of this side when I do it. So I just push the side out because these Velcros over here, like we discussed, are useless anyways. So they're not attached anymore. We just take and push this rug up through here, and then push it back down, because you don't want it curled up. You want to make sure that this is nice and down in the corner so that you don't have a puppy that happens to get behind the rug on the back side there. So that is how we do it, and this is finished product. And when she goes to dig, you can see it may move some, but it doesn't pull out. I've not had them get this out if you have that much excess. Especially, I have it pulled away from stuff right now, so once it's pushed up tight against the wall, it's a little bit tighter as well. But that is what we've done to combat the poor DuraWhelp design situation. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the puppies back in here, and someday we'll probably do a better video, and I'll have Eric actually video this. But here's these babies, and they are a week old. Can you believe that? These boys, there's 3 boys, small litter. She had them, they are 1 pound 10 ounces, or they were at birth. 1 pound 10 ounces, 1 pound 9 ounces, 1 pound 8 ounces. And these are just gigantic babies. So I'm gonna put them back in here. We have 2 blacks, and not positive. This one's probably going to have some brindle in him. He's got some little bitty brindles showing up right around here. But green looks to be solid black. So I'll put him back in here. And then the biggest boy here is just, I can't even explain to you how big this puppy is. Look at that next to my thumb. His paw is bigger than my thumb at a week old. He is just massive. Absolutely would love for him to go to somebody who's really going to do something with him. Oh, these guys are super nice puppies. This is a repeat breeding on her last litter, and after seeing these, we'd like a female from this, so we might just repeat that breeding again. This is our import Kira and Collusion or Louie. All right, come on, Kira. Can you get in here without knocking this down? Good girl. Good girl. Pull this out of here and flip you around, maybe. There we go. And there's the puppies in the box, and you can see it just looks nice and neat and clean. And those rugs are machine washable, so I really like how this works best. Now we do have another box that we're trying out, and I will take you over there. Give me a second. Anytime we get the camera going, the bird starts having to put her 2 cents in, so don't mind her. This is the other box that we have, and this is a Pup EZ. That's what this box is. So far, I like this box. The whelping rails could be a lot stronger. I like the DuraWhelp design better on the whelping rails because these are, excuse me, Aiden. We got toys everywhere. These are pretty, you can see they're pretty flimsy because they're only hooked in the 4 corners. I guess I can't zoom in. There's only hooks for them in the 4 corners here, and it's all plastic. Like, these are just kind of cheap little plastic hooks. But the box itself is very, very good construction. I like this one because you can really kind of get aggressive with it and clean it and scrub it if you want to. This is a new box for us. We're just trying it out with this litter here. But if you want to scrub it, if you want to power wash it, it all comes apart. It went together pretty simple. There are individual slats, so the front has this, it's split half and half, and you can take apart whichever side you want. So it gives you 2 halves. Now I have the cap on this one, so it won't just pop off. I like that design. But these will come out, so I take all except for the bottom one out, because the bottom one is pretty much the same height as a whelping rail. So I leave that bottom one in when I take her out of there. But I like that you have options for half, you know, as the puppies get bigger. I like that there's a lot of options with that. And you can do the same thing with the sidewalls. They all pull in and out of here the same. Like, that back side is capped, so it won't move. But the complaint I have about this one is that a lot of times if you come down here and you're going to tuck this rug underneath it here, when you lift it up, there's a thing, and I really shoved this in here so it's not doing it right now. But a lot of times when you pick it up, the part that holds this corner together, this flat part here, stays on the ground. So it'd be nice if there was like a little screw where you could affix this in here so that it would stay in, because if you're like me and you don't like the moms to pull you to, you know, dig and bury the puppies, you're putting these rugs underneath, and it's nice to be able to pick the sides up. And that's there. That's the only thing I would really change. And then I really think these could be, they need to come out a little further, and I would like them if they were more of a flat, more sturdy, because if a Corso sits on this, they could easily break that. But otherwise, I really like the box. I like the durability of it. This is the 60 by 60, and this bully really doesn't need the 60 by 60, but since we do Corsos most of the time, that's what we got. And so far, so good. Really like it. I love the fact that we can take it out, power wash it. It'll fully dry. We can just wipe it dry instantly, whereas that DuraWhelp box takes so long to dry. And then it stores easy, all comes apart, goes right back in the box. Cost-wise, this is a much bigger box, so I would say if I were to have to pick one right now, it would be this one. But we're going to try this one out again. This is our first litter in it, and then maybe order a different kind. If anyone has suggestions, put that in the comments. But it's looking like we're probably going to go and design our own just after doing this for so long. There's so many things that would be nice. This one does not have a bottom in it, so that's the big difference between it and the DuraWhelp. Is the DuraWhelp does have that corrugated plastic bottom, so if they were to have an accident in there, it is contained. It will leak somewhat, but this you have to. I've got those the absorbent pads. Well, I have one hanging here. I have those underneath of this carpet, and so you really have to be mindful of your floors if you have a female who tends to have accidents. But other than that, I really like this box. The DuraWhelp's done good for us. We've had a lot of litters in them, but at the same time, we've figured out a lot of the things that we don't like about them, and I'm sure that they have some breeder feedback, I would think, but I haven't seen any changes in their design. The other thing I would love is if they would put, you know, a couple like screws with D-rings so you could snap a food and water bucket in and maybe just have it on one of those slats so you can put it high or low. So that's just something that we probably would keep in mind when designing our own, is availability to put food and water in here with it not being on the ground and the puppies potentially getting to it. These bullies, I'm not worried about getting in that big bowl, but the Corso puppies could, so I don't leave food in there with them. And I like to leave food for the moms all the time. So that's pretty much it. That's the two whelping boxes that we are currently using, and we're looking at who is, sorry, I'm trying to figure out who's crying. Oh, Zammy's got gas. It's this one trying to climb up on the big girl. Aren't these white bullies cool? These are from Zammy and Samson. This little dude's stretching. I know. She doesn't want her crawling on her. Do you need to go outside, Zam? Yeah. She's looking at me like, why are you filming me? But anyways, that's it. That's our little 2 cents on the whelping boxes. I just wanted to go on here. My camera is out of storage, so I figured I'd do a live and then I'll pull it apart and make a video of it. So thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you next time.